Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. It's 8:32 Monday morning here on KSJE. You're listening to the Scott Michlin Morning Program. And my guest now in our visual radio studio from the Tres Rios chapter of Compassionate Friends, Jacki Garcia is here, and Amber Hale. And good morning to both of you. Good to have you here.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming in. You are both members of, as I mentioned, of Compassionate Friends, which is a group for folks who have lost children, and that has happened to both of you. And so, Amber, would you mind sharing your story again for folks who are joining us this morning, a little bit about your story, please?
Sure. On November 10th of 2014, I lost my 13-year-old son, Thad, to suicide. And I've been on a journey of trying to get the word out to help people in need, help people that are struggling. And Compassionate Friends is a great place for parents to go that have lost a child. They are
a support group of sorts, yes, and lots of other resources for parents and siblings and others too, right, in this situation?
Yes, absolutely. So right after Thad died, I started going to Compassionate Friends, and it was a little too early for me. It was a little too hard for me to hear everybody else's heartbreak while I was dealing with my own. They have books there that you can borrow, and so I borrowed books from time to time, and it's been 5 years, and I'm ready to get back to meetings now.
And they meet monthly, I think, right?
Yes,
so,
yes.
Very
Second
good.
Monday?
Second Monday.
Second Monday. Okay. Good to know. And Jacki Garcia, let me ask you a little bit about your story, if you don't mind. And you also lost a child, and that's what brings you here to this show this morning to talk about a little bit, and the event that's coming up to remember those children. And so tell me a little bit about your son. He was older.
My son was Cole Cannon. He was 2 months shy of his 23rd birthday. I lost him October 11th, 2014. It's actually where me and Amber met, our first Compassionate Friend meeting. We were both a mess.
And he was, as you mentioned, both died within not too short time from each other, correct? Both passed away.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's how you both met. And so have you been involved with Compassionate Friends as well then since this time, off and on, or how did it work for you?
It is awkwardly comforting to be around a group of people that understand the craziness that you're going through. It also helps to learn that you're not really crazy. It's the stages of grief. They kind of give you a heads up what to expect, how to deal with holidays.
Well, and that brings up a whole other subject too, because it is in the middle of the holiday season right now, and of course that does bring back a lot of memories probably for both of you, right? And it can be difficult for some, and others maybe comforting. I don't know, but how are both of you doing this holiday season? Jacki?
It's rough. I had a breakdown the night before Thanksgiving, putting up the tree because there's the ornaments that your child has made throughout their years, and so it's hard. It's really hard. I try to keep myself busy to exhaustion so I don't have to deal with the elephant in the room.
Right. And Amber, what about you?
For me, I made a decision this year that I was going to focus on joy. And so I'm purposely remembering good memories and that sort of thing because I have a younger son at home, and I don't want him to know holidays as being a sad time. I want him to have the same joy of Christmas that I had as a child.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know, Amber, you've been very open about your ups and downs throughout the time that I've known you. Mm-hmm. And Jacki, I don't know if you've been as public maybe as Amber has, but there's been ups and downs for you too, and that's for everyone, right? And as you mentioned, Amber, that you couldn't maybe go to the Compassionate Friends meetings right away because of maybe just what you were going through, but now you feel like you are ready to start resuming your attendance to those meetings and things like that. And it really is an individual thing, is it not, for folks to be able to determine when it's right to go, and they can certainly go and not come back, and everyone would understand?
Yeah, the thing about grief is it is not the same for any two people, even in the same family. My husband and I grieve very differently. And so it's whatever you do when you're grieving, as long as you're not hurting yourself or someone else, it's appropriate.
Right.
And, you know, some days are easier than others. And I definitely had some hard times through the years, but I feel like I've gotten through that now.
Sure. Well, and I think you've got a good group of friends and relatives that support you too, and that's helpful as well. And Jacki, what about for you? Tell us a little bit about your trip through all of this and the grief. And again, as you mentioned, it was emotional right before Thanksgiving, and these things just happen sometimes. Correct? You really can't predict what's going to trigger it.
You can be cooking in the kitchen and something will hit you. You can be shopping and something will remind you. Or the crazy part is you can think you see your child in the store, and that's heart-stopping. Even though your mind knows, okay, it's not your child, it's not your child, you still break your neck trying to get a glimpse to confirm that it's not your child. So it's kind of dealing with your own crazy, if you will.
Right. Well, and your brain may be trying to make you feel better by showing you images or someone that maybe looks like your child.
Yes.
That's not really there, or that looks similar. But the reason that you're both here is because of this event that's coming up on Sunday that we want to tell people about, and that has been happening for every year now, I know, here in the community, to remember these children who are lost and who have passed away and who have died, and it's going to be here at San Juan College, and both of you are involved this year, correct?
Correct.
And so let's talk about it, this worldwide candle lighting. And again, this is an event that's been happening by Compassionate Friends every year. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Sunday, December 8th, here at San Juan College in the Little Theater. And tell me a little bit about this event.
So there is readings that deal with the stages of grief. There's songs. That we can also bring pictures for the stage, and there's candles.
Right.
And then at the very end, there is a slideshow composed of all of our dead children.
Right.
And
all together. Right. And the families all together in the audience as well.
Yes.
And so the word is going out for families who want to take part to reach out and let Compassionate Friends know. And you can bring a photo on a stand to put on the stage?
Because the deadline for the picture submittal was yesterday.
Okay.
For the slideshow. But yes, bring a picture for the stage.
And is that helpful for everyone to be together like that? I mean, do you find comfort in getting together for an event like this to remember and to share about your child?
I do. I do think it's very helpful. You're with a group of people, again, that understand what you're going through. You know, there's a lot of people that will say, yeah, we understand, I know how you feel, but these people, they actually do understand and know what.
Right.
Yeah.
They've gone through it. Amber, same question probably, and similar answer?
So I haven't gone to the candle lighting. This will be my first year attending it, but I have been to several events where parents that have lost children are brought together, and there is something oddly comforting about knowing that you're not alone, and no matter what you say, they respect and understand where you're coming from, and it's really comforting. It's really, really comforting to have that connection with others.
Sure. And for the others in your family, both of you, I mean, is this something that you have a younger child, a younger son as well, Amber Hale? Is this something that maybe he would want to attend, or are you leaving it up to him?
I leave it up to him. My younger son, he likes to live a quote-unquote normal life. He doesn't want his friends knowing about his brother, and I respect that, so I don't know that he'll go. Maybe one day he'll be ready to, though.
Sure, but that's his decision, right?
Absolutely, it is.
And your husband?
My husband, kind of the same thing. My husband likes to kind of just be off by himself, and he's not ready to go to one of these either, but I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, it's one of those individual choices
Exactly.
that you really have to respect those others in your family even. But if there are spouses or siblings that want to come and want to go, this is an event that's open to everyone.
Yes.
Jacki, and for you?
I'm I like to attend these kind of things. My 31-year-old daughter, she has not made it to any of this yet because she cannot deal with it either.
Right.
So,
but that's okay. You're
That's
supportive
okay.
of her decision,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
and that's all right. And
Yes.
and again, this Compassionate Friends group, we should mention. You mentioned resources. There are other resources available for family members and siblings and things like that
Yes.
who are maybe having some difficulties.
yes.
And Scott, one thing that's amazing about Compassionate Friends, when you first lose a child, you can't imagine making it a day, let alone making it a year, 2 years, 5 years. And so these are people that some of them have lost their children 20, 25 years ago. And it gives those of us earlier in the journey a little bit of hope. We're shocked that they can be that strong, and yet here we are 5 years later. I'm sure you didn't think you'd be able to make it 5 years, and here we are.
Right. Sure.
And so it's good for those newer in the journey to connect with some of us that have made it,
Right.
and are still living and thriving.
And unfortunately, we keep hearing that there is loss all the time. We would hope that would go away, or we would hear less of it, but it's not. And we keep hearing it in our community. We're not immune, of course, and so it's important that there are people like both of you and the group Compassionate Friends to be there when families need them and when they feel they're ready to reach out and to accept that support that's always there.
Yes.
So very good.
I try to share it all over Facebook because I know there's not a lot of advertising for it. So, and if I can help one family, then that's worth the post.
Sure. Well, of course. And I'm sure that both of you have come into contact with other family members and mothers who have gone through what you both have gone through and wonder where to turn. Maybe they're not aware of this group that's available. And I know this is one chapter. There's a chapter, I think, up in the Cortez area. And I think just folks looking around online will find a chapter near them that they can reach out to and get involved with if the time is right for them.
Right.
Well, and even if they aren't ready to go meet someone face-to-face, Compassionate Friends has a national Facebook page. Everything is kept private in there. So if they just want to start with that step of going to the Compassionate Friends Facebook page and connect with people there, they're welcome to.
Very true. Well, that's great. Well, again, the event is coming up on Sunday, everyone, here at San Juan College. It's in the Little Theater, which we were trying to describe where it's located here, but I would call it kind of the middle of campus. But you can really kind of get there from almost any direction. But it's in the Little Theater here at San Juan College at 6 p.m. on Sunday, December 8th. And again, you can reach out through the Compassionate Friends Tres Rios chapter and bring a picture to share on stage. And show up with others who are supportive and there to help one another.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
good. Thank you both very much for coming in.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
You're very welcome. That's Amber Hale and Jacki Garcia, my guests here on KSJE. I'll be back with more in just a moment. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.